Yo, what's happening, everybody? True Evil here, and today I just want to talk about my progress day one of the Etheria Restart Final Test, what I learned about PvE, how my account ended up, and what I'm going to do tomorrow to prepare myself for real-time arena. So without further ado, let's start off with just talking about what I learned off this beta. Now, the biggest thing I learned off this beta is how to farm PvE the most efficient way by having some errors. I died, I think, 6 or 7 times total. So even though I am level 17, which is the highest you could get, I may have missed out on one just extra 10. So I'm going to show you what I messed up with, and it was threshold module drops. My goodness, this is pretty much impossible to do with like Terra Maton. I had Tiamat. My Tiamat was high level. I thought she was high enough to just get around it, but nope. This game mode is just if you have the wrong color, you are cooked. So that really made me have to focus on building a wide team variety because I did not have someone like Heinrich or Messiah where I could benefit from just having like one DPS be able to nuke everything. I had to have a specific one for each scenario. And that really affected a lot. And, you know, I'm going to focus more on module drops tomorrow and Animus XP. Today, I sort of grind a lot of the prowess material I needed for my characters just because I wanted to see what the most important thing off leveling is and when I should level up a module. And I think the best level to level up a module is when you get the gold versions of them, as I'm going to show right here. Now, what I think you should do is if you get a gold one with two of the like ability sets like Swift Rush or Wellspring or what have you, you level up the gold ones until you have all the substats. And I think you leave it there right now at gold and then tomorrow try to push for red or just getting clear gold gear leveled up with all the substats on everybody. I think it's a waste of resources to level up the blues and the purples. So I think just really go for that gold gear tomorrow. Now, besides that, the best way and what you'll see in Arena, the teams that are going to destroy you focus on Ascension. That is the biggest thing right now besides the modules. So I really want to have a 6-star character tomorrow or just have my entire roster at 5-star. And my roster is a little bit weird. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but yeah. Those were the things I learned was PvE roster needs to either have Messiah or Heinrich or it has to have a wide variety of units. And I spent a lot of the day just focusing on making a wide variety of units for PvE farming tomorrow, so I'm set up for PvP. Now, let's talk about my account and, how it ended up. So let's talk about the characters on my account and how that's going to affect my playthrough going forward onto PvP. And the first character I pulled was actually the only character I really didn't want to pull as an SSR in the entire game, and that is Born. And you might be thinking to yourself that's like a weird character to not want since he's one of the best nukers in the game. But the problem with him is that he doesn't have any buffs or debuffs. He's just a giant damage dealer that has lifesteal with him and can dispel. And the problem with this is his passive, which means he can't land crits. And the problem with this, it makes it hard for him to have a good team composition when you only have a weekend and a half to play the game, especially if you're focusing on PvP. The problem with it is, say, the banner unit, Freya, right? Her special buff, let me find it. So Dream Guide um, gets more increases and affects the opponent with buffs and debuffs. And, having your DPS unit not being able to help any with the turn meters is pretty underwhelming to use Freya with. Even though she is a very strong support unit, it is going to affect whether or not I use her in team comps. What I am going to probably have to do is level up Chiaki the Echo instead, which I really don't want to do because Chiaki's biggest problem is she can't really dish out damage. Whereas Freya also doesn't do that much damage, but her AoE that allows Nightmare really makes up for that, and I think is super important. I think, you know, not the best case scenario either way if I build around Born. And I feel like I have to because I got Tiamat off the selector, and unfortunately, my mold gave me Real Mocha. Now, Real Mocha sort of has the same drawbacks as Born, where she's just really good at dishing damage out. She has a minor stun on her ultimate, and she can heal with her skill too. But besides that, it's the same thing, right? She can heal herself and do a lot of damage with very little CC and buffs and debuffs, which is really affecting me using Freya. So the good news is she can crit and benefits off crits. So I can also use Leanne and, Freya. So I'm going to be able to use some of my best characters if I build around with her. So I think the best way to do PvP, probably day one for me, is pick one Tiamat. They're going to ban Tiamat, and then either build a team around Leanne, Real Mocha, or Born. But I really don't want to do the Born because it makes Freya not as strong. So we're just going to see from there. And also another character that doesn't really help having Born with is Dina because of her erosion effect, which is the best part of her kit. And, not being able to get that extra 60% true damage with Born especially is really, really a big blow to the account. So I don't have the best roster. What I think I'm going to have to do to make up for that is build up Kraken. Kraken has one of the best CCs in the game along with Obel. So I think if I do go the Born route, I'm going to have to use Born, Kraken, Sonya, Freya, or Chiaki the Echo. I'm going to see which ones would be the best for my account. If you have any ideas, I would gladly appreciate it. I also am hesitant to pull for Messiah because I do think I need to use the energy refreshes with my gems throughout the entire beta just so I can keep up with all the whales that have, I've seen a couple of people already have 6-star DPSs. So to be able to counter that, I think I realistically have to use the refreshes, but we'll see day one how it goes. So thanks for seeing this checkup on me. I think I'm progressing well. It's just we have to wait until game day, which is in 2 days, to see if all the prep is going to go well. So I'll let you know tomorrow how all my farming goes and if I think I need to farm a little bit before I start real time arena. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you see me tomorrow with another update on the beta test. And I hope you've been enjoying the beta test as well. True Evil over and out.